Good afternoon, my YouTube friends and family. The issue at hand today is the honesty of the YouTube atheist. When I first made the transition on my YouTube channel to switch from posting my open air preaching videos to addressing atheists, I guess what I found is basically, just like Ecclesiastes says, there is nothing new under the sun. And what's more sad than that is that the arguments that are being recycled are arguments that have been soundly defeated, and you can find the clips of that all over YouTube. So, it's kind of like, what's the point to some degree? Now, last week I posted a video asking atheists if Muslims converted to Christianity worldwide, would the world be a better place? And the reason I posed that question, you can see in this clip.
Would the world be a better or a worse place if 1 billion Muslims became evangelical Christians tomorrow?
Hang on just a second. This is great. Hang on just a second. Anybody got a camera? We got to take a picture of this. Go ahead. This is going to be good.
Would the world be a better place?
Yeah, give me bones on that one.
All other things,
You don't have to answer that.
everything else being equal, I think yes.
So yeah, the reason I asked that question is because I just wanted to see what the reaction would be from the YouTube atheist community, and see if there would be a contrast or an agreement. And really, it was by and large contrast. There was some disagreement or some agreement with Penn Jillette, and I like Penn Jillette a lot. His kind of awkward cackle aside in the middle of that video. I like Penn Jillette for many reasons. One, he's a pretty likable cat. Two is, he clearly understands the issues and not the straw man versions of the issues. I don't know for sure that he's read scripture. I don't know what his religious upbringing was, but I think it's pretty obvious when I see his videos that he does have at the very least, a cursory understanding of Scripture, and he really goes out of his way to represent it well. Now, you even see in the video, like, he thinks pretty hard about his answer, because I think, as an atheist, he would love to give the answer against Christianity. But, I think he would have loved to say that, yeah, Christianity would make the world a worse place. But he makes the effort to represent the positions honestly, and I think that's a stark contrast to what we see on YouTube with the atheist community. Now, I understand we're not all, I'm a working guy with a family. I'm sure most of my atheist friends on YouTube are also, so you don't have a ton of time to, study philosophy and epistemology and scripture and world religions and things like that. I get that, but I mean, can't we do a little bit better? Rather than trying to, put up the Westboro Baptists or Adolf Hitler and say, well, that's what Christianity is. When, what that demonstrates is a rank ignorance of the issue. So that's why I choose not to address these copy-paste arguments, these recycled arguments that are just pulled from the bottom of the trash bin and have been soundly defeated. It's something you even see among the professional atheists. David Silverman not too long ago debated James White, and he really looked foolish. James White is a pretty smart guy. I've never seen him lose a debate. Bart Ehrman did a really good job holding his own against him, but David Silverman looked foolish because he doesn't know the arguments. He's a charismatic dude, and he's kind of the bulldog of atheism, which I think some of the weak-kneed atheists like to get behind a guy like that. After soundly losing that debate, having all of his arguments crushed, we see him not long after that on some talk show debating Eric Hovind and Cy Ten Bruggencate, and he's bringing up the same arguments. The same arguments that were crushed. Like, did he think no one was watching? you know, like that's what I don't get. Like, to me, it just reeks of dishonesty. You see the same thing when Christopher Hitchens, he did the same thing between William Lane Craig and Doug Wilson. Same arguments, crushed by both men. It's like, if I guess I would like to think that there would be enough honesty in Christianity, in Islam, and in atheism, and in all of these worldviews that, look, if something is demonstrably wrong, you're at least going to examine it more closely before you look for a new angle to bring your argument from. Don't just recycle the one that just got crushed. Like, it doesn't, just because your argument was defeated doesn't necessarily make it wrong. I recognize that, but if it's right, you still have to be able to demonstrate that. So you have to do something to strengthen your arguments. But, when I made the transition on my channel to switch over from doing open air preaching and evangelism videos to doing more apologetics, I just started searching YouTube, and I would put in things like, a question for Christians, or 10 questions every Christian must answer. And I didn't find a dime's worth of difference from one video to the next. And so that's why, I'm not going to spend my time spinning my wheels, going after, recycled arguments. Bring something new, or frame them in such a way that gives them strength against the position. Just saying something like, well, the Westboro Baptists, or Hitler was a Catholic, or saying, that's just hit and run atheism. That's a drive-by. It's an ad hominem. Daryl, I know you're watching. I still love you, Daryl. Praying for you every day. But anyhow, be that as it may, I just want to encourage my YouTube atheists to, if you're going to properly represent the Christian position, it's really simple. Now, you can read this book, and you don't even have to read it cover to cover. I mean, you could. If you read it for an hour a day, you'll have it done in probably 6 to 8 months, depending on how quickly you read. But if you really want to get an understanding of the Christian position, of what it means to be born again, so the New Testament is 27 books. You can read that in just a couple of months. But if you want to get just a cursory teaching of what Christianity is, and to represent it honestly and accurately, read one synoptic gospel and the Gospel of John. I will say that, okay, how about the Gospel of Mark, because it's the shortest synoptic, and then the Gospel of John. You may or may not want to read the book of Acts. It does give a good history. That's only 28 chapters. And then read the book of Romans. The book of Romans is commonly called the Gospel of God. You can then go ahead and read maybe a couple of of Paul's epistles. I would probably recommend like Colossians, Philippians, but Hebrews will give you a good survey of the Old Testament, because it was written to first century Jews who would have known the Torah, the Pentateuch, and the teachings of the prophets and the Psalms and things like that. So like I said, the pastoral epistles to get doctrine and have an understanding of doctrine. But if you're gonna accurately, and I hope that that's what everybody aims to do, is to accurately represent the position that they're arguing against. I guess that's what I want to make a call for, because I don't see the point in us firing straw men out there for us to just blow over, and then to just keep recycling those same straw man arguments, because that's what I'm seeing out there. So that's all I got. Again, give me the thumbs up, subscribe, share me on Facebook, and God bless. See you later.